please come in, sit down quickly. We're burning daylight. Have a lot of things to talk about before we go to the plenary session. Okay, show.
Okay.
Action.
All right. So, hi everyone. My name is Show. I'm a Primo developer for coming up on 3 years now. And I'm here to talk to you about Primo Studio. So you've probably heard that name flying around. I don't know if any of you know what it actually is. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Okay, so start off by telling you what Primo Studio is. Then I'm going to show you a demo of the app. I'm going to show you 2 flows of the app, one starting from scratch, and the second one is starting from an existing customization package. So we'll do that, talk a little bit about how Primo Studio is built, and then I'll end up by telling you how you can contribute add-ons to Primo Studio. All right? So what is Primo Studio? So Primo Studio is a new cloud-based app which allows easy and fast customization of the Primo or Primo V UI. And most of all, Primo Studio is a place for the Primo developer community to share their code with the entire community. Because we know that Primo, one of its stronger suits is we have an amazing developer community. But until now, maybe smaller institutions which didn't have the resources to have a bunch of developers writing their customization code, CSS, doing all that styling, couldn't really afford to get into the whole deal of customization. But now with Primo Studio, what we want to do is bring the community closer together and allow everyone to leverage the power of the Primo developer community. So let's start off with a demo of Primo Studio. So I'm just going to open it up, and let me just, 1 second. Actually, let's see if I can duplicate my screen. That would actually be better. Okay. Okay, so everyone can see that? Okay, so this is the first thing you see when you enter Primo Studio. This is the URL. It's live, right? Everyone can go in and play with it. So the first thing we see is the configuration panel. And what we want to do here is we want to configure the environment, the Primo or Primo VE environment, which we will work with. So that environment can reflect the exact data which you have on your UI. So I'm going to cheat here a bit, and I'm going to use one of our November environments because there's a really cool feature coming with Primo Studio, but it's in the November release, so I want to show you that. So set this up. And so we set up the environment URL, we set up the view we want to use, and then we hit this checkbox if we're using a Primo V or environment or not. So in this case, it's just a regular Primo. So I'm going to spin it up. All right, so the first thing we see when we open this thing up is we have 2 parts to Primo Studio, to the UI. On the right-hand side, we have an iframe, which is showing a preview of what your UI will look like with your customization applied. So right now, we're starting from scratch. There's no customization applied to this Primo environment. All right, and it's basically just a regular Primo UI. You can run a search. You'll see the exact data that you have in your environment, and it's just like you're used to. On the left-hand side, what we have is the customization panel, right? And it's divided into a few different tabs. So the first tab is the color theme tab, right? And this basically allows us to change all of the basic colors for the system with just a click of a button. So I'm just going to do some of those, and I apologize ahead of time if it's not aesthetically pleasing. I'm a developer. So, all right, let's do this. Yeah, I don't know. Let's have some like this, and I don't know. All right. Let's hope this works out okay. So we hit update theme, and now the UI is refreshing, and we should see our changes applied. Okay? So, yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. All right, so that's how easy it is to change all the basic colors in the system, right? Let's move on to the next tab, which is the Images tab. All right, so this tab allows us to customize all kinds of logos and icons, all right? And what I wanted to show you for the November release is we're going to add a feature which allows you to change all of the different icons in Primo. So I want to change the citation icon or my favorites icon, any of these. I can just do it by uploading an SVG file. So just look away for a second. I'm just going to do some magic, all right? Okay. Okay. All right, so the first thing we can choose, let's choose a logo. And let's say we want to have a IGeLU themed UI, right? So let's go into my icons folder, and let's choose the IGeLU logo, right? And now this feature is the one that's coming in November. Allows us to upload an SVG file that will replace all of the different icons which we choose to replace. So I have one of them prepared ahead of time. Okay. And we can also change various resource icons. So I don't know, like the default icon for a book or a journal or whatever. So let's do that. All right, that's enough. Okay. So once we're done doing that, let me just run a different search so we can see the book icon or whatever. Okay. And yeah, we hit upload. And okay, so we can see we have our IGeLU icon, and we changed all of the basic, like citation, my favorites. It's kind of cool, right? I like this one as well. All right, so we changed all of the different icons in the system. That's how easy it was for us. All right, now this next tab is probably, I think this is where the community really gets its value, because this is the place where the Primo developers can come and share their various widgets and add-ons and share it with everyone, so everyone can just add them to their environment with a click of a button. So what we see here is a list of all the available add-ons we can install through Primo Studio. All right, so let's just do a quick one. Let's say we want to have, we have this date facet part over here, and we want to have a slider instead of this, so we'll just click Add. And all right, and now we have a really ugly date slider over here, okay? Okay. And actually recently, Ulrich, if you're here, then take a bow, added our first add-ons, which were actually written by someone from the community. So kudos to you. So I'm just going to show you those quickly. Let me just find one of the records where you can actually see it working. All right. So once again, we just Click Add. Oh, in this case, so some of the add-ons might have a customization, a configuration option to them, right? So we can choose various options of how we want it to behave or look. All right, I'm just going to go with the default one for now. And let's do the Plumix widget as well. Oops, all right. Default, okay. Okay, so once we're doing that, we can open full view up, and hopefully we should see a Plumix widget down here. I need to find some record where we can see the altmetrics one. Let's try this one. Maybe it will work. No, oh, just a Plumix for now. All right. So we have this little Plumix widget down here. Okay. All right. So let's move on. So this is another nice little feature which we've added recently, and it's basically just a tiny CSS editor, right? So if you want to change, like, you know, go into a little bit more detail than what, say, the color theme tab allows you to do, you can do it through here. So let's say I want to change the background of how this search tab looks. So I'll just go into here, I'll copy selector, right? Paste it here. Is this too tiny? Or you can see what I'm doing. All right, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to show you how this works. All right. Background. Color. Yeah, this is going to look awful. All right. Okay, so yeah, so we did that. All right. So once you're done playing around and customizing the way your UI is going to look, all right, so this is just a preview, right? You're not changing anything in production, obviously, or anything like that. So what you do is you go to the download tab and hit download, and what should download for you is a package zip, right? And you can take that package zip and upload it to your back office or Alma if you're using Primo VE, right? And then apply it to your production or sandbox if you want to test it out first. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about how Primo Studio is built. Sorry about that. Let me just... Okay, just skip ahead a little bit. All right. So this is a basic diagram of the architecture of how Primo Studio is built. So really the core of Primo Studio is we took the Primo Devin, which you probably, if you're a developer, you probably use it to create your customization, and we took it and we moved it to the cloud, right? So we wrapped it up with in a node environment with an Express.js framework, right? So we have an Express.js server. And we're using a set of APIs to basically change the different files that you would have, let's say if you're running your dev env on your local computer, right? So that's putting it in a nutshell. And then we have the UI, which is powered by Angular, and we're running this iframe, which is connecting to the Primo Devin as a proxy to your environment, right? And we're also interfacing with NPM. That's where we download the add-ons, right? So basically when you're clicking add add-on, it's doing NPM install to that add-on and putting the files in the right place. And we're also using GitHub for a file called features.json, which is basically a manifest for all of the available add-ons in Primo Studio. So I'll talk a little bit about that in the next slides. All right, so let me just show you a quick demo of how you could continue customizing if you have an existing customization package, all right? So let me close this and start up again. All right. Okay, so I think this is the Primo page for Washington State University, if I'm not mistaken. And sorry, oh, sorry about that. All right, let me just Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to use the Washington State University Primo page. All right. So I configure it here just before. I'm going to start it up. So what we see right now is their environment, but there's no customization applied, even though in production, if you open their page, you'll see all of their various customization. So ahead of time, I went to their back office. I downloaded their package, their customization package. And now I'm going to go to the Upload Package tab. I'm going to hit Choose Package. And here I have their zip. So I'm going to upload that. All right. And just like that, we applied their customization. And if you go to their page, you can test it out. It should look the same. All right. Okay, so let's talk about if you're a developer and you want to get involved with Primo Studio and create add-ons for everyone to use. Let's see how we can do that. All right. So there's really 3 stages for contributing an add-on, right? So the first one is obviously writing the add-on code, and it has to adhere to a set of rules that Primo add-ons require, right? Second stage is publishing the add-on to NPM, right? And the first page is to create a descriptor, and I'll talk a little bit about what that is. And you want to append that descriptor to the features JSON file, which I talked about before. That's sitting in a GitHub repository, right? So the first step is writing the add-on code, and you could use the dev to code your add-on. And there's a nice little example over here, right? And we've just recently added this gulp script to the Primo dev. So if you download the latest version of Primo dev, you should be able to use that. And what it does basically is it takes a customization folder and it converts it, does all the stuff you need to do to convert it to an add-on, right? So it's a little bit of a headache right now. And it also gets it ready to upload to NPM, does all that stuff, right? So second thing you need to do is publish the code to NPM, because that's where Primo Studio is installing it from. And the third step is creating a descriptor and appending it to the features JSON file, right? So a descriptor is basically, it's a JSON object which describes your add-on, right? So it says the title of the add-on. It says which UI hook, right? So if I want to say you want to add something after the search bar, I have PRM search bar after, right? All of you guys know that stuff. It's also configure links, a link to a GitHub page if you have one, and there's also a part where you can decide what kind of configuration for the form that opens up when you click add. So what kind of configuration you want to have for that add-on. Okay, and once you do all of that, you create a pull request appending your descriptor to the end of the features JSON, which is in the GitHub project over here, right? And then we wait for Alan to approve that pull request, all right? Because, sorry, Alan. Oh, Alan and 5 other guys. Yeah, and girls, sorry. Yeah, because basically we want to create a certain standard. We want to uphold a certain standard for the add-ons. If the add-ons are just not good, then people won't use it, obviously. So Alan's the gatekeeper and his 5 other friends. All right, yeah. Because, yeah. All right, one does not simply enter Primo Studio. Okay? Okay, yeah, it's a little bit of a Lord of Rings reference. Okay, so thank you. And
any quick questions? Oh, yeah. It's there.
Looks great. Is there any support for a central package in Primo Studio?
yeah, so I knew this question was going to come up. Truth is, right now, we didn't take care for a central package, but what you could do is once you download the zip file, and we're going to have something to support it, right, a central package, but once you download the zip file, you could basically go in there and, you know, like you have a central module for like the central package, so you could change the model name to your central package model, and then you could use it as sort of like a central package. So that's how you could do it right now. But we will in the future add an option to have Primo Studio create it as a central package. Okay?
Yeah, or as it is now, it seems that when you load your view, it strips all of the customization.
Sorry?
When you are loading your view into Primo Studio, it seems to strip away all of the customization, and you get the basic default from Ex Libris.
Oh, when you start it up?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Could the central package be included so that the CSS files and such on is displayed? So I will not allow my users to upload the central package, but I would like them to see.
Okay, so what you basically want to have is start up Primo Studio, then see what changes were applied through the central package, and then add on top of it.
Yes.
For your view package, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's something that we'll probably, we'll definitely try and get something like that into Primo Studio.
Perfect.
Just one add-on to this question. It would be a nice feature when Primo Studio can pull the currently installed package from the view. So you don't have to go to the back office, download it, upload it. So you can just press pull, and then you have your current customization package in Primo Studio.
Okay, so you're basically saying if we start a Primo Studio using with some environment, then we can choose if we want to get the current applied customization package. Yeah, that's definitely something we could. Yeah.
Any other questions?
So thanks, Shaul. I don't know if you noticed, but we had to grab him from his bed because he wasn't feeling well in the morning. And if this is how you present when you are not feeling well, you know, I can just wonder how you will present when you're feeling well. So, who been in the dev days in St. Petersburg last year? Okay. So if you remember, Ellen and me, we shared like a presentation, a brainstorm presentation. We had some slides about, we call it Primo Apps at the time, you know, we didn't know about what we are talking at the time, you know? And then we went home, you know, we had some course, and we were not sure about it, and while we were not sure about it, Shaul start working on it, and you know, listen, it was like some slideware brainstorm discussion in St. Petersburg last year, and now you see it by